Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. What am I holding? What am I holding? A glass of water. How is it? Is it full or empty? Full to the brim. I filled it up to the brim. Can we put any more water into this? Why not? What's going to happen if we put more water into it? Let's flip over. This is how King Herod was. His cup was full. His cup, the cup of his being, was full of his pleasures, desires, comfort, lust, and what he liked. This is why, even if, as we could hear from the Gospel of Mark, from today's Gospel, sometimes we gladly listen to John the Baptist, because his cup was already full, he would not make the changes in his life that John was telling him. King Herod Antipas, the son of King Herod the Great, was the governor of Galilee, was full of his life and what he liked. This is how we are, from what I see, this is how we are many times in our lives, and even worse than King Herod. Because King Herod, at least from time to time, could listen to John the Baptist and be perplexed, but not do anything about his life. I would say, from what I see, that we are becoming worse than King Herod. Because we don't even want to listen to people who are trying to tell us the truth or a different side of the story than what we know. About a year ago, I watched a very interesting documentary on Netflix about the social dilemma. I didn't know until then how social media works. And how, when you are starting to go on a stream of ideas on your social media platform, the social media is designed this way to feed you what you want to hear. Even YouTube. You watch a video on YouTube, and immediately YouTube is doing what? What is YouTube doing when you're watching a video on YouTube? Exactly, suggesting another video. Is the video that YouTube suggesting opposite to what you have already watched? It's exactly the same ideas, because YouTube tries to feed you what you want to hear, what you want to watch, because YouTube wants us to stay hooked to that screen for as long as possible. Why? Why do they want us to stay hooked to the screen for as long as possible? Money, exactly. Ads. That's how they make their money. And the more we stay on the screen, the more money they make. And how do they make us stay longer on the screen? By feeding us what we want to hear, what we want to see. I understand that the other social platforms work in the same way. You start on a screen, they keep you on that screen, and you stay only on that screen. From what I hear, you know that I don't watch TV. I don't have cable, but from what I hear, there are some Republican TV stations and some Democrat TV stations. Is that true? More or less, from what I hear.
Yes, Mr. Lord.
More or less, this is what I hear. You know? And some people watch the Democrat TV news, some people watch the Republican TV news. What I would highly recommend to you, to each of us, is to understand that truth is a lot bigger than what we know. And if we want to know the truth, we have to be aware of these tricks of the social media. And we have to do what Christ did. We have to empty ourselves of what we like. According to St. Paul's letter to Philippians, Christ emptied himself. The Greek word here is keno. He emptied himself, taking the form of a bondservant and coming in the likeness of man. He left behind heaven, his Father, and everything that he liked, and he came to experience our human condition. And because of this, according to St. Paul, again in the second letter to Philippians, God has highly exalted him and given him the name which is above every name. The Greek word here for highly exalted is hyperuso, which means beyond elevated. Because he emptied himself, God, beyond elevated, our Lord Jesus Christ. If we want to be like Christ, if we want to be beyond elevated, we have to empty ourselves, to come out of our comfort zone, whatever that comfort zone is, and to make a step into the other side of the social media, of the TV news. If you are watching, let's say, Republican news, I highly recommend to you, for every 10 minutes of Republican news, to watch 10 minutes of Democrat news. If you are watching Democrat news, I highly recommend to you, for every 10 minutes of Democrat news, to watch 10 minutes of Republican news. Cross from one side to the other to see what happens. Because the reality is that social media and TV and those who are supposed to inform us, they are not telling us the truth and the whole truth. If we want to find out the truth, we have to empty ourselves and to be raised above and to have a view from above. I was always surprised when especially after moving to a new city, living in that city, I'll never forget, when even in Fort Wayne, I've been living in Fort Wayne for a while, but I'm driving on the streets of Fort Wayne, and I think I know Fort Wayne by now. But when I take an airplane, and I take off from Fort Wayne, I look from above and say, wow, I've never had this perspective of this city. And I thought I knew this city, because now I see the city from above. It is a completely different perspective. If we want to know the truth, if we want to be more at peace and together, let us come out of our comfort zone. Let us empty our cup of what we think that we know and make room for the information that we don't have. And thus, by the grace of God, if we learn to empty ourselves and to make room for truth within us, God will lift us up and will make us like His Son, will make us abide in truth. Amen. Glory to the Father, and to the Son,